Today we have Dr. Palvia, who was a professor at multiple universities. He has a PhD and MBA from the University of Minnesota and BS in chemical engineering from the Indian Institute of Technology in New Delhi, India. He runs internship workshops to talk about the dangers of gun violence, which is a rising issue in America. So tell me a little more about yourself.
Well, I am a octogenarian now. I'm 80 plus years old, and I retired 5 years back. I worked in the corporate world, IBM, for data, Federal Reserve Bank, and I have been in academia teaching for over 37 years. So I'm Professor Emeritus from Long Island University, where I retired in 2020. And then I have been keeping myself busy. I taught at Kennesaw State University, PhD students, and then accidentally it so happened that my passion was to save human lives, and we started this organization, Ahimsa, End Gun Violence, Ahimsa to End Gun Violence, in April of 2023. And I've been busy in this. I still continue to do my research work in the field of information systems.
What inspired you to do gun prevention work?
Oh, I see. Okay. Every now and then there is a mass shooting in America. And after mass shooting, there is a huge media coverage, a lot of prayers, a lot of candles, a lot of political talk, but absolutely nothing happens. So
Yeah,
that
because
that has been hurting me a lot. So we started this organization, myself and two other people as the co-founders on April 18, 2023.
yeah, it is a rising issue because near where I live there was a gun violence incident where someone did an armed robbery near a Walmart and then the police caught the
Yeah.
person, but it was like they had like a gun with them and there was like traffic and yeah. So it is a common issue, especially like for schools. Like there was a shooting at a Christian school during mass, and there was a shooting at a school nearby mine. And as a high schooler myself, like me and my friends worry about our school being shot one day, like being in a school shooting, because it is a common issue and we fear for our lives. Whenever we hear about like any local gun shooting, we get scared because it could happen to us like anytime and we would be totally unprepared, and it makes people less motivated to go to school
Hmm.
since they could lose their lives.
What's the question?
Like, question, gun violence is a huge issue. Like, how do you think you can help prevent it from happening?
There are several things, as you must have learned in the internship that you went through. You are an
Yeah.
Ahimsa ambassador now. So you are doing a great job by spreading the message of Ahimsa and non-violence to curb gun violence. So kudos to you. Keep doing this nice work. So there are several things we can do. First of all, the most important in my mind is education of youth, people in your age group. You are the future of the country, and as long as you understand the history and evolution of gun violence in America and the predominant gun culture in our country, you can do something about it. So, what you are doing right now, peer to peer communication through your podcast, is going to create awareness, and it will prompt people to take some actions like the action you're taking. The problems that enable gun violence is one of the problem is the Second Amendment. Second Amendment was written in a rush. Each and every word in that one sentence amendment inconsistent with one another. It's absolutely horrible, Second Amendment, and people embrace it like a pillow, like a child, and it's
Yeah,
totally wrong. Just one
I
thing.
agree. I agree because it was originally written because America was at war with Britain, like the Britain were colonizing people. So they wrote it so that you can like defend yourself against the British soldiers and like people breaking into your home. But it was like it was for self defense, having guns as like a self defense. But people are like misusing that, right? going around just shooting at random people and innocents of people, even though it was originally intended just simply for self-defense. And I think a lot of people are like mad at the fact that people are like that the amendment wasn't like specifically clear. It's just said that you can just legally own guns. I think that they should try to
Okay.
figure a way to make it more stricter since people are misusing that fact that they can own a weapon.
One thing we have to understand that Second Amendment was enacted, I think, in 1789, and it's in today's times it is totally obsolete. At that time, when we got independence, there were not law enforcement staff or there were not a military or anything, so people had fear, especially in rural areas, and they wanted to defend themselves by having guns. Simple guns are okay, were okay at that time, but simple guns have now become automatic AK-47 and AR-15 rifles, and this thing is not stopping. And there are no background checks, there are no safe storage. People are allowed to have concealed weapons now. So all these things have to stop. And it is happening because of organizations like NRA, National Rifles Association, and their lobbying arms who are constantly supporting the legislators, and they in turn keep supporting gun manufacturers and the gun lobbies. So we have to keep doing a lot of things.
So
Gavin
what are your
Newsom,
opinions on that?
Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, brought up this 28th Amendment because he was also shocked, like a lot of other people are getting shocked about the epidemic of gun violence in our country. Every gun owner has to have a license. All those things are supposed to happen under Amendment 28. But that amendment has to be ratified by three-fourths of the states, two-thirds of the Senate, two-thirds of the House. That's
Yeah.
another stumbling block because to get any change in the country, we have to do so many things. It's very tough. So the constitution needs to be revised also a little bit at least so that changes can happen.
Issue. It's like a lot of innocent lives are being lost, like kids are being shot, families, like innocent people, especially like a lot of school children are being like shot, just which is I think that's why people are afraid to go to school. Like as I mentioned, like kids might stop going to school because of that, because people can just easily like walk into the school and shoot threats.
Yeah.
Because actually, what happened once is that a few years ago, my friend, she was in elementary school and there was a bomb threat, and they all had to evacuate out of school and immediately go to a different school. But it turned out that it was just like a rumor and like a prank, and then they immediately had to go back to school. So it wasted their time. It affects people's lives daily.
Yeah.
And like school shootings also traumatize people
Yeah.
since they're so violent.
Yeah. Whatever you said makes perfect sense. All your listeners must realize that we in America have the most guns in the entire world. We are only 4% of the world population, but we own 50% of the world's guns. For every 100 people in America, there are 120 guns. During 1990 to 2021, there has been a gun holocaust in this country. 1.11 million people have been killed by guns, homicides, as well as suicides, as well as unintentional killings. And the next thing that I'm going to tell you is the worst thing. It's horrifying. Every year, $7 billion are spent by doctors in healthcare, by law enforcement officials, by first responders, everybody because of guns. So look at how much will we save $557 billion every year.
Yeah, I feel like resources are also being wasted and like because they have to because of the gun violence issues. I feel like people are mistreating the fact that they can own a gun
Right.
because yeah, it's scary to think that like just like anybody can just own a gun, like regardless of if they have a criminal background or anything, they can just like buy a gun and like misuse it.
Another scary number is 97% of the guns are unregistered. Only 3% are registered. Why shouldn't each and every gun be registered? Just like a car is registered, a motorbike is registered.
Yeah, if
Wow.
your car isn't registered, you could be, like, fined or, like, punished, but if the gun isn't registered, people aren't punished for that.
Okay.
Do you think
Okay.
that they should be more stricter on, like, registration on guns?
Do I think what?
Like, the government should be, like, more stricter on registration of guns.
Of course. Of course. Countries where gun killings are almost nil, government manages the distribution and registration of guns. Country like Indonesia. So yes, just like Australian government is involved and they are doing so much better, same way America can do it too. The biggest problem is politicians who support guns. And the best way to make a change is all voters should vote for gun sense candidates. Candidates who are for strong gun controls, strong gun violence control. If they don't like gun control word, this is a gun violence control. So voting is very important. Vote for only the gun sense candidates. That's extremely important. Coming midterm election in November, tell all your audience, please vote for gun
Yeah.
sense candidates.
Yeah, what are your opinions on, like, what caused you to, like, start this internship? Like, going around, like, teaching people about, like, the dangers of gun violence, like,
Yes.
why did you decide to start an internship?
Very good question. Very good question. Ada, you know, there are lots of organizations which are trying to stop gun violence in this country. The biggest one is Every Town for Gun Safety. Another one is Brady's Campaign. Another one is Mothers Demand Action. Another one is Students Demand Action. But none of them was focusing on educating our youth. And that is extremely important. You know, we have 99 Ahimsa ambassadors now. Not one, not five, not 10, 99 Ahimsa ambassadors, youth like you who are spreading the good message as you are doing. So, and I have been a professor, so I said, what is good use of my credentials?
Yeah,
Teach.
and I think that it's good that you're encouraging, like, ambassadors to go tell their friends about the internship. Like, I told my friend about it and he was pretty interested, so I'm pretty sure he's gonna join in the summer because he also doesn't like gun violence. Like, he absolutely hates it. So I think that if I can get a few friends to talk to, like, spread more awareness about it, we could really, like, start getting our voices heard because there are a lot of, like, there's not that many teenagers that are, like, really, like, informed about, the dangers of gun violence and, like, how they can what they can do to prevent it. I think the more that teenagers get involved, the better because they spend so much time on social media. They could spread more awareness on social media and, like, whenever they're hanging out with their friends, they can also talk to their friends about it because teenagers, like, especially my age, are very, very social and very vocal on their opinions. And
Very
I think
good.
that could be, like, a great way to spread the message.
Just like you, one Ahimsa ambassador has started an Instagram project called Drop the Gun. His name is Atulit Gudupidi. And I think Arush, son of Gaurav in our IDGO temple, also joined that initiative. Then there is another guy, Mr. Akinchan's son. He has started a club in his school called Ahimsa Club. So things are happening. You guys are doing marvelous job.
I think that teens should also start clubs in school, as you were saying, because, like, it would be a great idea to spread the awareness about it. Like, I noticed that some teenagers are, like, not aware about, like, the ongoing issues and, like, shootings can cause a lot of trauma and, like, inconvenience. Like, my teacher, like, was near where the Walmart incident happened. Like, everybody was stuck in traffic all because of that. Like, it causes inconvenience also. It just causes a lot of unnecessary issues like gun violence, shootings, and then they don't focus on the fact, like, how they got a gun. They focus on other aspects, like, of the shooters.
Mhm.
And then most of the time you find out that the firearm is unregistered, and even though you're supposed to have a registered gun, they just get away with unregistered guns. It's really sad
Yeah.
because
I
then,
mean,
like, nobody's aware about, like, the firearm. How do you think people can get more in touch about your Ahimsa organization.
Okay, by word of mouth through good people like you. That's what my question was. How can youth learn about the internship, right?
Yeah. No, like how can they know more about like your organization and like getting involved?
Okay, word of mouth is the best. So if each Ahimsa ambassador tells his or her 10 friends, then they will start joining the internship. Our crusade will become a mass movement. One thing you have to tell your friends is that we are planning a national Ahimsa convention in the first week of August, where all the Ahimsa ambassadors will join. You will join too.
I think that's a really good idea because teens love socializing and convention. Like they love gathering and socializing with other teens. And I think if you host like a convention, teens like from all over America can come and meet with each other and like talk about gun violence and like spread the word.
Are you willing to participate in that?
Yeah, I'm willing to help out because I think convention's a great idea. Like I'm helping out with another convention which talks about Jainism because not many people know about it. And
Okay.
I think that's gonna help spread the message.
Wonderful, wonderful.
I think that your convention will help spread the message. Like, you could gather like people at like a location where they can like interact with people and like talk with the Ahimsa ambassadors. And you could get like Ahimsa ambassadors to talk about their journey and like why what they liked most about your internship and why they recommend it, and, like, they can help inspire more people
Yes,
and, like,
yes,
non-Ahimsa ambassadors.
yes.
And I think that it's great that, like, you have an internship so that, like, kids could get more engaged because the way, like, your internship is structured, you talk about it, you give assignments, you make people like, you gave us books to read about. It was pretty good, like, a lot of people got engaged, and it was pretty interesting, and, like, my sister also was interested even though she didn't meet the age requirement, she still was pretty
Yeah,
interested.
I know.
Yeah,
Okay.
she was really enthusiastic about it, so I think that it's great.
Ada,
It's a great internship.
I want to tell you something. When you took the internship, you did not do what the interns are doing now. On the fourth and the fifth day of the internship, they are making phone calls to senators and representatives, telling them to do something about the epidemic of gun violence. Each intern is making 40 phone calls. So this the internship that just ended, we had 23 interns. Each intern made 40 phone calls. 23 times 40 is 920. So 920 phone calls were made to senators and representatives, House representatives. So that is going to make a lot of difference. People are listening now from the youth that, hey, got to do something about it.
Yeah, I agree because they need to like in order to get like the issue, like you said, like they need like a 3/4 voting and like if they want to add like a amendment, it's a really long and hard complicated process. And I think that it's good to like go around spreading awareness so you can actually like influence people because people get easily influenced by like social media and like the media. But if you like spread more awareness about like gun violence and like him and like your internship that people will get influenced and like want to change something in the world
You heard the
rather
word,
than just
yeah, yeah. You heard the word influencer. So I think my Ahimsa ambassadors are the influencers in our society now. They can influence.
yeah. I think that creating school clubs is also a great way of like reaching people. But what do you think teenagers can do more?
The question about what can be done in schools.
Yeah. Like what can schools do to help
So, and
spread
that will
awareness?
affect teenagers. And there is each school should have a one required or optional course in ahimsa slash non-violence to curb gun violence and curb climate crisis. So ahimsa can curb climate crisis also. That means by
I
having
think
a vegetarian or vegan diet, we can save the Mother
Yeah.
Earth.
Yeah, I think that not many people are aware about, like, people that have, like, restrictive diets and like why they have it because as a person who has a restrictive diet due to religious reason, it's really hard to explain to people why I don't eat meat or like eggs. Like
Okay.
it's hard to explain for some people. I think they should also spread awareness about like why people have certain restrictive diets and why they follow such principles like ahimsa, like nonviolence. And I think if you spread the word about like ahimsa, that will encourage people to do so because violence is a major issue in America. And then like violence it is, but then if you add guns, it's even worse because
True.
guns can come in like many different sizes and like it used to be like small pistols, now it's just like huge assault rifles and you can't defend yourself from that. It's scary to think that it's legal for someone to carry such a big weapon around.
Right.
Even though like it was just supposed to be meant for self-defense. Now people can just like go around anywhere with a gun in their like glove box and then nobody can and then they can just like randomly shoot.
Yeah. Concealed weapons. Now.
Yeah. Do you think that people shouldn't be allowed to have guns on them anymore?
Shouldn't be allowed to have guns anymore.
Like, no ordinary people other than like law enforcement, since
Yeah.
they're like
That
misusing.
that would be absolutely the best. We should understand that guns kill people. If people don't have
Yeah.
guns in their hands, it wouldn't be easy to kill.
Yeah. Like innocent kids are losing their lives, like 5-year-olds, 8-year-olds due to it.
76%, Ada, 76% of homicides in America are because of guns. 70, only 24% killings are without guns. So if we did away with the guns, we will reduce homicides a lot, significantly.
And not many innocent of lives would be lost. Like mothers are losing their kids due to gun violence, family members are losing family members to gun violence. It's a very unfortunate thing because a lot of innocent people, like ordinary civilians like you and I are just like they lose their lives for like because of gun violence. And it's really hard because like you have the fear if you accidentally like offend someone. You don't want to like accidentally offend someone because what if they have a gun and they just like shoot you with it?
Right.
You know? Like it's scary to think that like if I accidentally say the wrong thing to the wrong person, then they're gonna like take out a gun and shoot me. Like it's people get scared because anybody could have a gun. Like
Yeah. There's no restriction.
yeah.
Yeah. You can
Yeah.
open an account in a bank and get a gun as a gift.
Yeah, like, I think it was Australia, I'm not really sure. There was, like, a father and son that, like, got guns and, like, shot people.
Right.
So, it's like anybody could own it. I think that parents should also raise awareness about, like,
Right.
gun prevention, especially, like, people who use, like, hunting rifles to kill, like, innocent animals because it's really hard to stop worrying about getting shot as, like, a student also, because like, in colleges, there's also shootings high schools, elementary schools. It's mostly schools where there's shootings. Like people go there for education, not to lose their lives. Like at Brown University, there was like a shooting during midterms
Right.
and a lot of kids lost their lives. Like a lot of college students who worked really hard to get into that Ivy League school, they just like lost their life even though they were just trying to like get ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty unfortunate because I mean,
Yeah.
they worked so hard to get into an Ivy League. They came far away from home, moved away, and they just like lost everything. Why?
Yeah.
Because someone decided to just like come up and shoot them. Like they did nothing wrong. Like the Virginia Tech shooting, also like a lot of people got shot and a lot of families were impacted. I feel like people should be more aware of like school shootings and like I think there should be more security checks done because places where there is not a lot of security are easier targets of shootings. So, like, what advice would you give someone to learn, spread more awareness about gun violence?
I think what is happening in America is people are getting desensitized to loss of human lives. It does not affect their minds when they hear about mass shooting or gun violence or suicides by teenagers with the guns. They think it's normal. and everybody should understand it is not normal, and we should not, yeah, it should not get normalized in our minds. That's why the awareness that we are creating by educating the youth, and more such things should happen in schools as a normal curriculum, not through organizations like ours. That's the advice I will give. That people should understand guns kill people. So the lesser guns we have, the better off we are.
How do you think the media could influence more people? Because, like, as you said, the media like desensitizes like the gun violence and like the shootings. How do you think that the media can help influence people to like get involved and like stop gun violence from happening? People get easily influenced by the news.
Yeah. So that's a huge problem now, that fake media and artificial intelligence, even video
Yeah, AI.
clips, even video clips, you can't believe everything can be manufactured these days. So what you are doing is these kinds of social media like podcasts and Instagrams, where sincere people like you provide the right news and the right ideas and the right guidance, it can help.
This. Like, what do you think is the main reason people are using AI for like gun violence related stuff, issues? Like, why do you think that? Like, how do you think that people can use AI to spread like for a better way instead of like negatively using it? How do you think people can like positively use it to spread like awareness about gun issues?
Okay, personally, I'm benefiting from AI because when I want to get facts on any issue or any historical fact, I could get the right information from AI. AI is based on actual, most of the times, on real facts. So if they want to learn about any particular gun violence issue through AI, type any long sentence and you can get the facts. You don't have to be misguided by any TV or radio blast or anything that is put on Facebook or Twitter X. So that's AI can really help if you want to get the facts on any particular issue related to guns or related to vegetarianism or related to animal cruelty, any issue.
Can you please explain the structure of your internship?
Structure of the internship?
Yeah, like what do you do like
Oh, that's a
on
very
the
good
first day,
question.
like the same day?
That's a very good question. I teach this internship as if I am teaching college kids. So I have a very rigorous syllabus. There are six textbooks, and everybody learns what are the contents of those six textbooks. There are four phases in the internship. We talk about the philosophy of Ahimsa and peace. We talk about how Ahimsa and peace movements have helped transform the world, different parts of the world, with Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther King, Nelson Mandela, Desmond Tutu in South Africa, and so many other places. If we know that Ahimsa and peace can help, then we say, hey, let's learn about the history and evolution of gun violence in America. And yes, Ahimsa and peace movements can help reduce, curb, or even end gun violence in America. That's the structure in phases. All the interns go through 5 or 6 assignments, including watching the documentary award-winning documentary film by Michael Moore, Bowling for the Columbine. You went through that, right? And you learned a lot from
Yeah.
that. So, and then towards the end, we tell them how to influence the legislators who actually make the bill and enforce the bills. So our interns have been calling the senators and the congressmen so that they vote, they get concerned and sensitized about the epidemic of gun violence in our country. So I think that is going to help a big.
I think that people should also read like the autobiographies of the people who witnessed the Columbine shooting. I know that there was this one girl who witnessed it. She wrote like an autobiography about all her traumas and her fears and like her personal experience. So I think that people should read her autobiography because it's was pretty traumatizing for a lot of people, like the survivors and like the people who witnessed it. I feel like people should understand their perspective by reading the autobiography, as you mentioned, watching the documentary. Like for people that don't like to watch documentaries, they could also read the autobiography because it was a really devastating thing.
Yes.
It's pretty devastating. So yeah, I think that you encourage people. I think you should also add it in your like ahimsa like internship, like mention the self autobi. I don't remember the name of the autobiography. I'll send it to you later, but I think that you should try to get people to also read it. so
Right.
they can understand her perspective.
Yeah, the textbooks we had, one was Ahimsa novel. The main character was Anjali. Then there was autobiography of Mahatma Gandhi. Then there was a book about Mahatma and Martin Luther King. Then there was a book about Enough is Enough, all the student movements in America to reduce gun violence. There's a book on repeal the Second Amendment. So the textbooks are very relevant.
I found the book. It's called Over My Shoulder, a Columbine survivor story of resilience, hope, and a life reclaimed. It's by Casey Ruggles. I don't know if I'm pronouncing the last name right, but yeah, she talks about her experience. She transferred to Columbine High School in her junior year, and she was like there when like the shooting happened. She was like in the library reading, and then the shooting happened, and she was traumatized because it was like her first time at that school, and then it got shot up.
Okay. You send me that information about that textbook. I will
Yeah,
include
I'll
it in
send
the
you like
next
the
internship.
link of the book. I think you can find a PDF somewhere, but yeah, it's like scary. Like it was like her first time at that school, and then there was a shooting. Like it must have been pretty traumatizing.
Okay.
So yeah, I think it's good to learn the perspective of survivors because not many survivors talk about like their struggles.
Thank you.
I think it was pretty brave of her to read. Thank you for your time. I hope that people will try to prevent gun violence since it's taken a lot of innocent lives. I hope that this inspires people to take more action and spread more awareness about the gun violence issues that the world is facing.